The autumn afternoon painted the old courthouse steps in shades of gold as Tyler Matthews sat with his worn toolbox, catching his breath after fixing the broken heating system inside. At 34, Tyler had weathered hands that spoke of honest work and a gentle heart that drew people to him like warmth from a fire. He was preparing to leave when a small voice interrupted his thoughts. "Mister, could you help me?" Tyler looked down to see a little girl standing at the bottom of the stone steps. She wore a soft blue sweater and a pink knitted hat with a cheerful pom-pom. Her teddy bear was clutched tightly in her small arms. And though her face was pale, her eyes held a brightness that made Tyler smile. "Hello there, sweetheart," Tyler said, setting down his tools. "I am Tyler. What is your name?" "I am Sophie," she replied, her voice soft but clear. "I live up there with my grandma, but the elevator stopped working again." Tyler glanced up at the old apartment building next to the courthouse. He knew the building well, having fixed various things there over the years. The elevator had been giving trouble for months. "That is quite a lot of steps for little legs," Tyler observed gently. Sophie nodded seriously, then looked at him with a kind of direct gaze that only children possess. "Mr. Tyler, if you carry me up the stairs, I will tell you a secret." "It is a very important secret." Something in her voice made Tyler pause. There was a wisdom in her words that seemed beyond her 4 years and a quiet sadness that tugged at his heart. "Sophie, I would be happy to help you get home," Tyler said, kneeling down to her level. "But you do not need to give me anything in return." Sophie shook her head firmly. "No, this secret is special. My grandma says that when someone helps you, you should always give something back." Tyler studied the little girl's determined expression. There was something about her that reminded him of his own daughter who lived far away with her mother. The same stubborn kindness, the same earnest way of speaking. "All right, Sophie," he agreed. "I accept your offer." Tyler gathered his tools with one hand and carefully lifted Sophie with the other. She was lighter than he expected, settling against his shoulder with complete trust. As they climbed the stairs together, Sophie pointed out things along the way. The window where Mrs. Chen always had flowers. The door where Mr. Peterson played his violin each evening. Each detail revealed how closely she observed the world around her. "You know everyone in this building," Tyler commented as they reached the 3rd floor. "Grandma says it is important to notice people," Sophie replied. "She says everyone has a story worth knowing." When they reached the 4th floor, Sophie directed him to apartment 4B. The door opened before they could knock, revealing a woman in her 70s with silver hair and worried eyes. "Sophie, there you are," the woman said, relief flooding her voice. Then she noticed Tyler. "Oh, hello, I am Eleanor, Sophie's grandmother." "Tyler Matthews," he replied, gently setting Sophie down. "I gave Sophie a ride up the stairs. The elevator seems to be acting up again." Eleanor's expression softened with gratitude. "That was very kind of you. Sophie has been having some health challenges lately, and the stairs can be difficult for her." Sophie tugged on Tyler's jacket. "I promised you a secret. Remember?" Tyler knelt down beside her. "I remember, Sophie. What is your secret?" Sophie glanced at her grandmother, who nodded encouragingly. Then she leaned close to Tyler and whispered, "The secret is that grown-ups forget the most important thing." "What is that?" Tyler asked, genuinely curious. Sophie's eyes grew serious. "They forget that love is not something you keep. Love is something you give away, and the more you give away, the more you have." Tyler felt something shift in his chest. This tiny girl facing challenges he could only imagine had just shared wisdom that many adults spend lifetimes trying to understand. "Where did you learn that, Sophie?" he asked softly. "From being sick," she replied matter-of-factly. "When you are sick, people show you love in lots of ways. Grandma takes care of me every day. The doctor is always gentle. Even strangers like you help me up the stairs. It made me understand that love grows when you share it." Eleanor placed a gentle hand on Sophie's shoulder. "Sophie has been teaching me this lesson, too. Even when she is not feeling well, she always finds ways to help others." Over the following weeks, Tyler found himself thinking about Sophie's secret often. He began paying closer attention to the small acts of kindness around him. He started visiting Eleanor and Sophie regularly, fixing things around their apartment and sharing stories about his work. During one visit, Sophie was having a particularly difficult day. She was tired and pale, but when Tyler arrived, her face lit up with joy. "Tyler, I have been waiting for you," she said from her spot on the couch. "Grandma made cookies and I saved you 3. As they sat together sharing cookies, Tyler noticed how Sophie always thought of others first, even when she was struggling. She asked about his day, remembered details about his other jobs, and always had a kind word for everyone she met. "Sophie," Tyler said one afternoon, "you have taught me something very important." "What is that?" she asked, looking up from the puzzle they were working on together. "You have shown me that the best way to fix things is not always with tools. Sometimes the best repairs happen when we fix each other's hearts with kindness." Sophie smiled, the same bright expression that had captured his attention that first day on the steps. "That is exactly right, Tyler. And the wonderful thing is that when you fix someone else's heart, yours gets fixed, too." 3 months later, Tyler received wonderful news. Sophie's treatment had been successful, and she was getting stronger every day. To celebrate, Eleanor invited him for a special dinner. As they sat around the small kitchen table, Sophie raised a glass of milk in a toast. "To Tyler, who carried me up the stairs and learned my secret." Tyler raised his own glass, looking at this remarkable little girl who had changed his understanding of what it meant to be truly wealthy. "To Sophie, who taught me that the richest people are not those who have the most, but those who give the most." Eleanor wiped away a tear. "And to the family we have become, not through blood, but through love." That evening, as Tyler prepared to leave, Sophie handed him a drawing she had made. It showed 2 figures on a set of stairs, a man carrying a little girl with hearts floating all around them. "This is us," she explained, "sharing love and making it grow." Tyler carefully folded the drawing and put it in his wallet where it would stay as a reminder of the day a 4-year-old girl taught him life's most important lesson. "Thank you, Sophie," he said, giving her a gentle hug. "Your secret changed everything." Sophie hugged him back with all her small strength. "That is what secrets are for, Tyler. To make the world a little bit better." As Tyler walked down the courthouse steps that evening, the same steps where their friendship had begun, he understood that some encounters change us forever. Sometimes wisdom comes from the most unexpected teachers, and sometimes the greatest gifts are hidden in the smallest packages. The elevator in Sophie's building was finally repaired the following week, but Tyler continued to visit regularly. Some connections, he had learned, are not about convenience or necessity. They are about the simple recognition that we all need each other, and that love shared freely always returns multiplied. Sophie had been right about her secret. Love was not something to hoard or save. It was something to give away generously, trusting that in the giving both hearts would be made richer.